Hey everybody, we are back. Welcome to episode 5 of Tilted PodQuest. I'm your host, Paul Michael, joined as always by Alex.
Hey guys.
We took last week off because we were prepping for PAX West, and we would have hoped maybe to record while we were out there, but it was my first show in a long time since, I don't know, Anime Expo, I guess you could count that, but that wasn't really gaming related, but it's been a while since we've been able to cover a huge video game convention. And as far as shows go these days, now PAX West is the largest video game related event on the West Coast. So we have plenty of thoughts about that. Alex, actually, since this was not your first event as media, but your first major event as media, especially one that's gaming focused, what did you think?
It's a lot. It's very, I would say, stressful at times. So going into PAX West, there was not really much of a sign where, go here, go there. You kind of have to figure things out. Most conventions I go to have a sign or numbers dropping down from the ceiling so you can know the general area, right? Here at PAX West, I'm not sure if it's how they're done, but since it's our first time, we kind of got lost. So we were running back and forth to different buildings or different booths that's across from each other. And we're just trying to rapidly get our interviews in and make sure that we make it to the next one on time.
Yeah, I think actually what you're speaking to is I saw there were a couple of booths towards the hardware section that had the booth numbers that you could actually see.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason for that is because this is a consumer focused show, right? There is media, a big difference back when I did the E3s, way back when, I guess now at this point. It was a show for industry, not executives, but industry members first, right? It was press, media, developers, and publishers all getting together, closed off from the public, so you would have booth numbers everywhere. It'd be real easy to find where things were because, it wouldn't be whereas PAX is more consumer focused, so PAX was kind of using landmarks. They'd be we're just a couple aisles away from 2K, and 2K had their giant Borderlands 4 booth.
Yeah.
So PAX West is more the public friendly area, which is people in the public, they like landmarks, right? So they're all about landmarks. But the E3 version of these shows was more professional and more, I guess serious. Not that serious because it was video games and they had booth babes and things, but the point was that you could more easily find your way around some of those shows because they just had numbers everywhere, and numbers make sense. But numbers aren't as fun as go past Borderlands, and if you see Mistfall, you've gone too far.
It's weird. They should have that numbers drop down from the ceiling just so that people can go anywhere, but I guess so, because most consumer, they just stand in line for 2 hours just to play a game.
Yeah. If you're not there as media, it becomes something like a theme park, I guess. And thankfully, it's a 4-day show, so you should be able to wait in line for everything. I know especially Nintendo is infamous for this, right? So Nintendo, you actually alerted me ahead of the show. They were doing what did they call them? They had some sort of pass. I forget what they called them.
It's like a fast pass technique.
Yeah, essentially, you had to go online, book your slot, and they gave you, I think they were half-hour slots. And they sold out probably the same day that they were put for sale. I put that in quotes, air quotes, because it was free, but you did have to register with your Nintendo account. So I did that for Pokemon ZA and Kirby Air Riders, both on the Switch 2. But if you didn't get a pass, there was still a standby line. But unless you were there when each day opened, it was capped very quickly, and you had very little luck of seeing much else once you finally made it through that line if it was full.
Same with Capcom. Even as media, I stand in line for about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And I like Pragmata, the concept of it too, so I didn't mind waiting in line. It wasn't longer than a Resident Evil 9. That one was you're going to be staying there for a good 6 hours.
See, now that I didn't even bother with those because I know Capcom and the PR firm that I've seen several times throughout this year in Culver City, they always set something up. So I think later this year, perhaps we'll probably get our own special time with that game. Probably with the same build, maybe even a slightly newer build. But I can't imagine that they won't ask us to come down to their office later in the year because that's just how Capcom works. They were another customer friendly booth. They didn't really have a media section, or at least I didn't see it. Between the two of us, we just counted. We saw or got our hands on at least 46 games. I might as well just read it. It's a list. It'll be quick. but let's go. So Alex saw Sand Studios hands-on preview, which is not actually a game, but rather a set of earbuds that really impressed us, and we'll speak more on that later. Let's see. Be My Horde, Rabbit Hall, Mistfall Hunter, Pragmata, which you just mentioned, Hidden Deep, Oculus. Oculus? Oh, okay,
Occultist. No, sorry, it's Occultist.
Yeah.
I spelled it wrong. So
That's right. God Save Birmingham, Muffles' Life Sentence, Sucker for Love Crush, Lacerator, Hyperkin, which is a manufacturer, controllers and things, Memoria Wake, No, I'm Not a Human, Fate Reawakened, Obakadoro 2, Jason Seek. Oh yeah, that's that chibi like Dead by Daylight thing. Octopath Traveler 0, Opus Prism Peak, Riftbound, and then on my side we got Path of Exile 2, R-Type Delta HD Boosted, Rushing Beat X, Mamorukan Recurse, Truxton Extreme, Dragon Quest 1-2 HD Remake, Escape from Tarkov, Busby 4D, Mortal Kombat Collection, Swap Meet, Game, which is a Time Crisis console, more on that too later, House Fighters, Final Fantasy Tactics, War of the Western Deep, Digimon, Star Seeker, Lost Eidolons, Pokemon ZA, Kirby Air Riders, Rogue Labyrinth, Shrines Legacy, RS Arcanum, Birdfeed VR, Fresh Tracks, Little Nightmares 3, My Hero Academia, and Borderlands 4. Not all of those included subtitles, but that's just to give you an idea of, like, if you don't see us much on socials or anywhere really, we're going hard on as many of these previews as we can, because the longer it takes, the more our memories fade and the less we might have to, tell you about it. Plus footage of a bunch of these.
Yeah, so we're going to be showcasing some of the B-rolls. So if you're watching it right now, we'll probably have some from Mistfall Hunters, maybe My Hero Academia, and a couple more others.
Probably Digimon. I got I didn't realize when I booked the Digimon appointment that it was a 4-hour demo session. So I ended up giving 3 hours of my time on the show floor for that game. So I don't want to hear any Digimon fans complaining that I didn't spend any time with this game, because it was a lot. And it's atypical too. Usually these appointments, you book and you expect half an hour, maybe an hour at the most. And so I completely missed that it was 4. I mean, I'm glad I went. It was definitely worthwhile. The game is shaping up very nicely. It's due out, I believe, next week. And the embargo on that game actually lifts. I think it's already. No, it hasn't lifted. It lifts on Monday. So by the time you hear this, it'll have been out, and my preview will be on multiplayerfirst.com as usual.
Yeah, it's a lot. So just know that we can't cover every single game, but we'll try our best. There is PAX West is mainly both AAA and also indie game. It was prior to be mainly indie games, but as the convention grows, more sponsors or other big companies wants to get in on it as well and showcase their own games as well.
Yeah, speaking to other people who've been there before, they say that it doesn't feel as big as it's been. But having said that, they whichever company runs this whole show said they had over 100,000 attendees. So it's definitely not a small show by any means. I mean, even the E3s before they were open to the public were around 100,000 people. So it was packed, but not so packed that you couldn't get from appointment to appointment. The mornings were a little, bit of a rush job, because it is a huge crowd that's trying to get into the building. But once, a couple of minutes and everyone spreads out, then things were pretty good.
Yeah. And like I said, it's post-COVID, so a lot of things change. Situations change, so even then it's still big. They have two buildings. We got the Summit Expo and also the Arch building too. So tabletop games are in the Summit Expo, and then mainly the indie and AAA games are mainly in the Arch building.
Yeah, I hardly ever.
We do miss out the Square Enix party. I know that was sold out. That was a book ticket. We couldn't attend, but it was okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. What did you only say one game?
Oh, sorry. Oh, that was only one game.
Yeah.
Mistfall Hunter will be my second game. It's a extraction-like RPG with a bit of a Dark Souls-like vibe to it. I can talk more about it, but it's going to be very extensively long because I'm a huge Souls fan. Third game, I would say it's very hard. I would say this is going to be very hard. Okibedoro 2. It's a chibi game. It's a chase and seek. So you basically play up to 3. I believe you can also go up to 8 players. 1 to 8 players. In the convention we play 3. It's up to 3 players and then 1 ghost, so 4 players total. And basically, you run around and you try to survive for about 3 minutes. The ghosts will try to capture you. If the ghosts capture all 3 people, they win. If there's 2 survivors at the very end, survivor wins, or human wins. Besides that, Riftbound is a game I'm anticipating. It's a tabletop game, so it's not really a video game, and it's a lot of League of Legends. Playing 18 years of League of Legends, that was my jam. So.
Whereas I've played no League of Legends. But okay, so I guess my top 3. These will actually be tough because I saw quite a few. I mean, you heard the list. Like I may be a sucker for photography, but the bird feed was impressive, but I guess it wouldn't make my top 3. My top 3 would be, let's see, Little Nightmares 3 for sure. And funny on that one, sometimes when you're at these conventions, you have an appointment that runs late, and then because you're late to that appointment, because that appointment runs late, it pushes your other back-to-back appointment a little late, and then it snowballs. Next thing you know, you're running 20, 30 minutes late, and that's what happened to me. But thankfully, our PR rep was very understanding, and she still let me go about 40 minutes after the fact for this 2-hour demo, and I ended up it worked in my favor. I ended up getting paired with a member of the development team in the game. So a lot of the people that were just journalists that got paired together, they kind of struggled to get through the whole demo in the little 2 hours that we had. In fact, we went overtime.
Yeah.
But thanks to the developer I was with, we were able to, he gave me a couple moments, and I talked about this in my preview, which should be out by the time you are hearing this. He would give me a couple minutes in each section just to see if I could figure out things on my own. For the most part, I could, but if it seemed like it wasn't obvious that whatever it was to do next, he would hit the shout button. He wouldn't just do something. He would stand near something and then hit the shout button, which causes the other character to just shout like, hey, and getting your attention. So showing me the subtle ways that they allow communications in the game, where if you're not on Discord and just talking shit to each other, you can actually just stay immersed in this game, which is it's got this really unsettling kind of atmosphere that the previous games are known for. Even though they've switched now developers, I believe it was Tarsier, and now it's Supermassive Games, because Bandai Namco owns the rights to the intellectual property. It didn't seem to affect anything. It feels just like the other games, but in co-op, so it felt completely natural. I could probably talk about this game for a while, but go ahead and check out our preview instead, because I did it there. So that's definitely one of my top 3. Another would be a surprise that I hadn't even heard of this game. I hadn't heard of these next 2 games actually before going to PAX. I guess because in between work and other life responsibilities, I don't pay all that much attention to a lot of these. But Swap Meet was definitely one that came out of left field for me, and that's a third-person shooter. I believe it's co-op. Yeah, it's definitely co-op. But the gist of it is that when you shoot enemies, they will often drop body parts. And so these are torsos or heads, arms, I think, and of course weapons also get dropped. But you mix and match body parts to give your character different abilities. There's some really fast legs that'll get you moving real quick, and they affect the abilities that you have totally equipped. There's no universal thing that you have on you all the time. So, and these parts wear out too. So if you take too much damage, your legs could end up being lost, and then now you're back to the base unit and you're very slow. You can still walk around, which I guess I ended up talking to one of the designers for the game. I believe he was the co-founder of the developers actually, and he said that early on they had it such that you could, if you lost your legs, you couldn't move. You had to just shoot someone around you, kind of I guess Borderlands, which I also played, where when you're downed, you can't really move, but if you shoot something else, you get a second wind. In this case, they didn't have that, and they got a bunch of, I guess, QA complaints saying, hey, you should probably still be able to move when the legs go. And he's like, but we wouldn't have found that out unless we showed it at the convention. So we talked a long time. I don't think I have transcribed that review yet. It's on my list, but it's a very interesting game, and very it's casual too. And that's another thing that the developer mentioned, is that it's drop in, drop out at any time. So if you just have a couple minutes to play with your friend, you can drop in, earn a little bit of experience in 5 minutes, and then just drop out, and you were never even there. And so yeah, that's Swap Meet. Look out for that preview. I'm hopefully going to get to it this week. And then last but not least, I would say another surprise. It's already out now. I'm probably going to just review it, not preview it, but it's Fresh Tracks. So Fresh Tracks is a first-person skiing rhythm-based game that again, I talked to one of the main developers in the game, and he said that they designed like the album first, and then they built a game around it. And when I played the game for quite a while, and when I got off, took off the headphones and everything, I turned to the guy and I said, I haven't been this excited for a rhythm game since Tetris Effect. And then he said, "Oh, it's funny that you say that because what they were going for was a way to merge the rhythmic timing that's required in a game like Pistol Whip and the like audio visual kind of spectacle that Tetris Effect is known for." I'm like, "Well, y'all nailed it," because it was I had no idea about the game prior to this, but like they had it on a TV with the guy playing it, and you could just see people in the aisles just kind of stopping because it's a game that grabs your attention because it's very cel shaded, it's got a lot going on, and the music is great. And they gave me, and we can segue into I guess swag after this, but they gave me a vinyl that had basically the whole game's storyline on two different records, two-sided records, which you can actually purchase on probably IM8-bit or something like that, and they were also selling it on the show floor. But it's a music. It's like an album first, and then a game second. But the game is actually really great too.
Yeah, those because I see you played Beat Saber, so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I used to love beat type games, but it got too much. I get competitive.
Well, this one, that was a nice touch though. So each track has a difficulty level, and the difficulty levels are graded just like you would see on a slope. So like it's blue. It's a blue circle for easy. It's a green square for medium. It's a black diamond for hard, and then double black diamond for expert. So it's perfect how they got that. And they said that they all like to ski, so that's where that came from. And I'm like, well, now we just need snowboarding. But
they came. They're from Canada too, so
yeah. Well, that makes sense. They didn't have to go far. Then PAX is in Seattle, Washington, so they probably drove over.
Yeah. But guys, do be sure to check out our previews or reviews. Link will be down below, so you guys can click on that and look at all the reviews we have so far. But yeah, I do enjoy PAX. It was very nice. It was very different. We walked a lot. We only ate once a day.
Yeah, we tended to only eat once. I grabbed these protein bars for the morning, and I usually half the time I remembered to eat them. Other half I was just too busy going from appointment to appointment to notice that I was hungry.
Yeah, the only thing interesting I noticed about PAX, not even PAX West, but even going to different conventions, is that if you don't drink a lot of water, you can start getting faint. Because I didn't drink a lot of water. I just drink a bit, and I have to keep moving. So that was the most dangerous part. Like, make sure to drink a lot of water, especially during summer too. Like we're moving towards winter, but it's still pretty hot.
Well, we're getting to fall first.
Oh, fall, yeah, then winter.
But yeah. I mean, they give out Red Bull and stuff too, and then it helps that a lot of these media appointments they will offer you water because you're media. They want the coverage. They want to treat you well so that you don't have any bad associations with whatever booth you're at. But yeah, speaking of I guess being media, one of the perks of media is that you get swag. You get a lot of swag. Like some of these developers are they're joking that they're just looking out to see who has the golden ticket, and the golden ticket being a media pass, because to them it means that you've been vetted, that you're not just here for a selfish reason, and that you're probably going to get a decent amount of eyes on whatever it is you're going to write or produce or script or whatever, because the organization in charge of these conventions has at least vetted you somehow. In our case, it's Multiplayer First has enough of a reach that we get verified. So but as I guess a thanks for that, often these booths will give you a bunch of stuff. So what's your favorite swag you got at this convention?
Well, it's not swag. It's just cutting through the line, because I hate waiting line.
That's a perk.
It's a perk, but I'll give you an example. Path of Exile 2. I will not wait for 2 hours just to play Path of Exile 2, despite they having even 30 computers.
They had a lot of stations, yeah.
Even then, the line was pretty long, but got in. I enjoy playing it. I played the first game, Path of Exile 1, for a good 2-3 months, and then college happens. PAX West is when I came back to Path of Exile 2, and I did decently good. I think I killed 5-6 bosses. So despite never playing much of Path of Exile 2 or Path of Exile much, I did pretty decent. Given 15 minutes technically. It was not 20. It was 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I thought it was 20. But anyway, it didn't matter. So for us though, so the Path of Exile 2 had a boss rush challenge at the booth. So you had 15 or 20 minutes, or 40 if you went on stage, but now you're on camera and the guy's going to interview you, and it's like very game show like. But the point is that the more bosses you defeated, the more swag you unlocked. But you, at the end of it, you could only choose. So if you defeated, I think it was 4 bosses or 5, you would get the a keycap, like a keyboard keycap. The next level, you would now choose between the keycap or a set of pins. Very nice pins, like they're made of metal and they're like hardcore, like symbols from the game that you could put on a pin board. And then finally, if you did, I think it was 8 or 10 bosses, then you could choose between the keycap, the pins, and a T-shirt. And we just got all 3. They just like, here, we're giving you a bag. All 3, please don't forget about us. Give us coverage. Essentially, is what they're saying.
Technically, I will. Most swags I do is like the shirts, because then I don't have to buy shirts.
Right.
I can retire the old ones and wear the ones. But the problem is, I have too many shirts at that point. But I'm getting into pins now. So the really nice pins that they give out was pretty nice. So I now starting collecting pins with my pin board. So I'm having that set up, and lanyards. So like, different kind of lanyards. Like, I don't use them, but it's nice to hang it and then show off, different lanyards.
Yeah, I've got both of those. I now have a pin board that I got from Vine. It's almost full at this point, which I never thought I'd see. And then I do, in our game room, we have a shelf where I just put all of the lanyards, except right now I've got PAX in my office that we're recording in right now, I guess because it's the newest. But also, we did visit this booth called San Sound, and that's San as in like I believe the Japanese word for 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, I'm gonna be honest. When Alex booked the appointment, I kind of dismissed it because the way it was written and the words that they're using kind of felt like this is like a off the shelf kind of generic rebranding of some like I said off the shelf components. But one talked to the Devon guy that helped run the booth, but I believe is like a founder or something, and you could tell he was they at least seemed to take the driver design of this whole thing seriously.
Yeah.
And he put his money where his mouth was and gave us both a set of their San Quantum earbuds. So they're very angular looking, and we also got a pair for our wives. And they wouldn't look out of place in like an anime or something, some sort of futuristic look, because they're very angular. But more importantly than how they look or how they feel, because they also have like touchpad buttons on the side and stuff, or a touch-sensitive area rather. The audio just sounded really nice. So
I can give it more take. So I booked it, despite Paul Michael telling me it might be any generic earbuds. I say, oh well, I already booked it, and then my first appointment, which canceled on me, so that can happen. So appointments can canceled, and you're left with no interview, so you have to find a different booth. But Sen Sound happens to be my next interview, so I went there, and I got a chance to meet the actual CEO, David Long from Sen Sound, and he used to work for a company that started Beats by Dr. Dre. And he's he's an audio engineer for 20 years, so he knows his stuff. He will go on nerding out a lot of things about audio engineer. Anyways, I listened to it, and by God, a lot of the earbuds that I have are like not comparable to this. Now, I'm not like embellishing it or anything or exaggerating it. It is like there, but not there yet. So they've only been around since 2022, so they're still pretty young. So they have a lot of innovations. They have a lot of smart people that know what they're doing, and they're passionate about it. Like, their entire team was like very very knowledgeable on a lot of things. They'll explain to you like in details about like the earbuds itself, what they have, what they're trying to improve on, and so we even got to check out the top secret demo too. But we cannot talk about that. That will not be released yet until probably next year.
Yeah, they had this little roped off or curtained off area labeled top secret, and the audio engineer that used to work for Beats that you mentioned, he was back there to demo the new product that's coming soon. We'll say these aren't cheap. They are around $300, $250 to $300, depending on exactly which model you're getting. So their new product, I won't say what it is, but it will help with some of that. having said that, they have a beryllium infused driver that's also apparently has carbon nanotubes to make it stronger. So hopefully that means that they'll last a little longer. We obviously just got them, so we can't speak to the longevity of them yet. I can probably write a review on them in a couple months after they've been broken in and all that. But I will say they have a couple interesting fights on their hands if they continue down this route, because I noticed it had no lossless codec, and I talked to Devin about this. Right, there was no LDAC option on my phone. I don't have an iPhone, so I don't, there's no checking for like any high-end codecs that iOS is compatible with. But he said they went with AAC and SBC because they wanted the widest range of compatibility. And in his words, he wants the driver to do the talking, essentially. Which, to his credit, this, even though it's a single driver, it sounds way more detailed than you expect. The response range is slightly extended. It's 5 hertz to 20 kilohertz, so you don't get any expansion above audible human hearing levels, but it can be argued that's a placebo effect anyway. And he said that the industry has taught a lot of us audiophiles, myself included, to look for certain things, and he thinks that that's not really the right way. It's not like you can have an extended audio range, but like it's not going to matter. You can't hear it anyway, and whether or not that's true, whether or not you can actually hear or feel it is is up for debate. But I don't know. It's a fight I'm not sure they can win, because there's so much entrenched knowledge and people that just believe wholeheartedly you can't have decent quality without a lossless codec. But that I could do a whole nother podcast episode on that. So just know that they seem to know their shit, and so far I am pretty impressed with these. It also helped that they had a pair of Odyssey Maxwells at the show floor to let you do a A/B comparison if you so choose. So look out for more coverage on Sound Audio soon. But yeah, definitely the coolest swag we got there.
Yeah.
With a second, I'd say a runner-up for me would be the vinyl that they gave me for Fresh Tracks. I already listened to that album in its entirety, and it was great.
Yeah, the only other second swag I like was the Riftbound promo. That card is going for $90 on
eBay. That's right, yeah.
And I even tried to talk to Paul Michael to go get it for me too, because I love Riftbound, and I'm also going to be playing into that trading card game as well. But besides that, I got fan from different fan, and then free samples of gamer supplement.
GG, yeah.
GG sup. It was pretty good. I bought a bottle too, so I can't wait to try that. But yeah, overall, we love PAX West. We will probably go again next year. For now, I may be thinking of Los Angeles Comic Con. That'll be around November, so we'll see if we can head there. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do any coverage, but things can happen.
Yep. Well, we have a ton of more stuff to say about PAX West, but we are unfortunately out of time. We got to make it for our pinball tournament now, so no news for that, because we also had that off last week, so we'll see how it goes.
So thank you for joining for part 1. We'll have part 2 next week, so be expect this to be released Friday very soon, and then we should have part 2 up and running by the following week after that.
Yep. Take care. See you then.
Take care, everybody.